Yeah, it's a whole.
Oh yeah, it's a total hellhole, dude.
California
Florida
is a shit
sinking.
show.
Look at your tan.
Oh yeah, it's sinking. By the way, first of all, I don't respect any nepo baby that thinks Twitch streaming is a job. And mind you, I want the audience to know this guy Hasan has said in the past that America deserved 9/11. So don't even talk. Don't even open your mouth. Don't even open your mouth. You don't have no reason to talk.
Vinny,
just shut up.
I'm a big
just
fan
do me a favor and shut up.
I'm a big fan of you. And,
okay, but hold on.
I'm a big fan of you, so I don't want you to die. I feel like your heart pressure is going up. You're turning red, Vinny.
Piers Morgan brought on an all-star cast. We have someone from the PBD podcast. We have Vinny from the PBD podcast. We have Cenk Uygur and his nephew, Hasan Piker, over here on the right. Last time Hasan was on Piers Morgan, it was an absolute disaster, and this time is even worse for Hasan, as Vinny absolutely demolished him. I mean, the guy absolutely tore apart Hasan. Things got heated, and one of the most heated conversations I've seen on Piers Morgan, and Vinny just took the opportunity to absolutely trash everything about Hasan. You could tell he went in here with notes about Hasan that he wanted to address. That's not even talking about the topic at hand, but when Hasan kind of threw a jab at Vinny, he just absolutely went off on Hasan on all these different things, and it was pretty awesome to watch. Let's check this out.
Because all this, because we've had a case study, Piers. We've had 4 years of Trump, and now we're going to have 4 years of Biden. There is no debate. There's no arguing. The country is shit right now. And I know Hasan said, you know, Trump is talking about the border and the illegals are the problem. They are the problem, okay? They are. Kerry mentioned one story. There's been 4 this week, 4 of young girls getting raped and murders, and people like that say, oh, it's not really a problem. You say that because it's not happening to you or your family or your daughter or your mother, okay? It is a problem. And by the end of this 4 years, the number's probably going to be 18 million.
The whole state of California. I don't know what you're talking about. I live in California. We are the largest border state as the governor also mentioned.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Oh yeah, it's a total hellhole, dude.
California
Florida
is a shit
sinking.
show.
Look at your tan.
Oh yeah, it's sinking. By the way, first of all, I don't respect any nepo baby that thinks Twitch streaming is a job. And mind you, I want the audience to know this guy Hasan has said in the past that America deserved 9/11. So don't even talk. Don't even open your mouth. Don't even open your mouth. You don't have no reason to talk.
Vinny,
just shut up.
I'm a big
just
fan
do me a favor and shut up.
I'm a big fan of you. And,
okay, but hold on.
I'm a big fan of you, so I don't want you to die. I feel like your heart pressure is going up. You're turning red, Vinny.
Somebody like you to say America deserved 9/11, Hasan, you shouldn't be on this fucking panel. I'm sorry for my language, Piers. He doesn't belong on your show. That being said, Piers, it'll be
I mean, he has a point. Like, Hasan, he's able to say all these, like, Hasan says some wild stuff, dude. And it, like, yeah, America deserved 9/11. That's wild. But even recently, he's been saying things like basically in full support of Hamas. And you guys know, if I watch this channel, I'm no like hardcore Ben Shapiro's favorite country supporter. I just think America shouldn't be involved in the war in general. And I think that there's some really bad things that Ben Shapiro's favorite country is doing over there in the Middle East. But for Hasan to say, like, he basically fully supports Hamas, that's an absolutely insane thing to say. And Hasan is able to say all these crazy things because he has a nepo baby, number one, and he has this Twitch stream that is so unserious. He's able to have this huge platform where he talks about politics and geopolitics and all these serious topics and say this wild stuff. And when somebody addresses it and brings it up on a podcast or on a show like Piers Morgan, Hasan just sits there and giggles because it doesn't really matter what he says. There's no consequences to what he says because his Twitch chat is still going to generate him a ton of money. As he pushes socialism and sells shirts saying tax the rich, they're all buying that and fueling his multi-million-dollar mansion and his multi-million-dollar cars, you know? So it doesn't matter like what is brought up. It doesn't matter that he says all this crazy stuff, these disgusting things. It doesn't matter. Because he's still going to go back, turn on his Twitch stream, watch some videos while he eats food, read his chat every once in a while, and just generate millions of dollars. It doesn't matter. And worst case scenario, his Twitch stream dies. He still has his uncle, Cenk, who's on this panel as well. We'll just give him a job at the Young Turks. So it doesn't matter what he does. He can say all this wild stuff. Someone addresses it, he can just laugh it off. It's just funny to him to say this crazy stuff.
Huge challenge.
Vinny?
Huge challenge for Democrats.
Should we invoke Donald Trump right now and say, let's not be children?
Yeah, I think that's a very good call, Jenna. Yeah, I think we're going to try and keep things.
Let's not play that game.
Do you know what was interesting? What was interesting? Well, hang on. What was interesting about last night, actually, I'll bring Cenk back in here. I liked the format, actually, of the way CNN did this. I thought Jake Tapper and Dana Bash did a very competent job. But also, I liked the format where there was no audience to manipulate, perhaps, or save a candidate for themselves, or to overreact to try and drown out a particularly salient point. And the mute button worked very well. You could see both candidates trying to speak at various times when their mute button was on. I don't know what you thought, but I actually thought it was a pretty good format for showing us what the reality was of these two candidates.
So, Piers, a lot of people are criticizing CNN now, and in fact, they themselves this morning admitted that maybe we should have fact-checked Trump once or twice.
Oh, geez. Okay. Apparently, Trump lied dozens and dozens of times, although nobody will ever even bring up a single instance of him lying. I don't know. Let me know in the chat and the comments when he lied. I'm sure he did at some point. That's kind of what these debates are all about. Both sides just lie to make themselves look good. But, you know, this whole presidential debate, I thought CNN did a decent job. The muting of the mics, though, I don't think does a great job at showing the reality between the two candidates. If you let them both just have a free roaming conversation, Joe Biden would get absolutely demolished because Donald Trump is just too witty. He's too quick in comparison to Joe Biden, who was a shell of a human. And he showed that. But, you know, they have to mute Donald Trump's mic so he can't speak out of turn. He can't throw in, you know, the jabs, the quick remarks and stuff like that. So I don't think muting the mics gives the best outlook on what these candidates truly are.
When he said, like, deranged things like, oh, there's post-birth abortions. That doesn't make any sense at all.
But my answer would be, Joe Biden should have done it. Right? Biden should have called him out on all those things, but he wasn't able to do it.
Hold on. That's exactly what I'm getting to.
Right.
Piers. So, you know, when somebody says something so stupid like that, and like Trump says, oh, they let out all the mental institutions and the prisoners of countries, the opponent has a responsibility to say, which countries?
Yeah.
Tell me which countries released all their prisoners and mental...
If you enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Inmates, etc. What are you talking about post-birth abortion? That doesn't even make any sense, you deranged lunatic. So, yeah, I'm not getting on Jake Tapper or Dana Bash. The guy opposed to you is supposed to make those super obvious points.
Yeah.
Look, at this point, this conversation about whether Joe Biden's going to drop out is over. He's definitely going to drop out. The donors no longer think he's a good investment. And think about this, Piers. If he doesn't drop out, imagine what history is going to say about him. That he put his monstrous ego, maybe an ego even larger than Donald Trump's, above the needs of the country, the party, the voters.
Bro, did it really take that debate for people to see this? Like, what? Somebody let me know in the comments. What new information did we gain from that debate? Literally everyone on the planet that has any sort of common sense knew exactly what was going to happen. It's the same thing that's been happening for the past 4 years every single time Joe Biden speaks in public. But even worse because he's in an actual debate, which I never thought he would accept in the first place. You know, props to him for actually going out there. But it absolutely ruined any chance of him winning this election if it's a fair election. If it is a fair election, there's no chance that Joe Biden wins. So if the Democrats want any chance of winning, they should have him step down. But what new information do we have from that debate that all of a sudden all these lefties, Cenk Uygur, Hasan is nodding his head. I did a video yesterday on Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the rest of the View. They're all saying that Joe Biden needs to step down, that it was horrible. When this whole time, all these people have been endorsing Biden, and Charlemagne went on The View and they were trying to force him to endorse Biden live on The View. It's like, what changed? He is the same guy that we've been seeing for the past 4 years, not be able to make coherent sentences, get, you know, poop on stage, not be able to read off a teleprompter. What changed? It's the same guy. He is who we thought he was.
It's an unbearable thought. He would become one of the great villains of American history. And there's actually a really easy way to replace him. All he has to do is say, I'm out. And then we go back to a traditional convention where the delegates decide. That's almost always how Americans
decide their
I think candidates anyway.
Yeah, we discussed it before, but 2 incumbent Democrat presidents since the end of World War II have both stood down in election year, Harry Truman and Lyndon Johnson. So there's a precedent here for this to happen. It just hasn't happened where the incumbent president doesn't want to go. Jenna, I want to bring you in just on one point, which is the behavior of Jill Biden after the debate. Watch this.
Oh, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lied!
God.
I mean, I found that pretty painful to watch. She then led a chart of 4 more years. And the reason it's painful is she's Dr. Jill Biden. This is her husband. He's in front of, maybe 100 million people in America alone, tens of millions more watching around the world, being utterly humiliated, clearly has onset dementia, and is being, dragged through an incredibly embarrassing, humiliating process of this debate, being mocked and laughed at around the world. And rather than do what any normal spouse would do, I think, in that situation, which is be protective and save Joe Biden from himself, she seems even keener than he is for him to carry on and to perpetrate and continue to perpetrate the lie that there's nothing wrong here. He answered every question. Well, he didn't even understand most of the questions from what I could see. What did you think about her as the First Lady and her responsibility here?
Well, she's clearly married to power, not to Joe Biden personally, and that's incredibly tragic. I was watching this debate with my parents, who have been happily married for almost 50 years, and my mom was almost in tears looking at how frail and tragic of a figure Joe Biden was on stage. We all said, our heart went out to him. I could sympathize with Van Jones on the panel after CNN, moved to tears, saying he just looked terrible. Everybody knows that he clearly is sick. He is unable to fulfill his duties. And yet here is Jill Biden, the one person in his life that should be telling him, listen, you've got to step down, helping facilitate that, looking out for his best interest, not to mention the country as the First Lady, but his own best interest. And she's the one who's standing up, treating him like a child. It was like she was in a preschool class and telling him as a toddler.
It really was. It was like, you did such a great job. You answered all the questions. You knew all the right answer. Like, oh my God, it really was. It was tough to watch, dude. The whole time I was feeling bad about, feeling bad for Joe Biden. I feel like it's straight up elder abuse at this point. And if we're trying to lock up Donald Trump, we might look into locking up Jill Biden for elder abuse. Just saying. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this debate here on Piers Morgan. Like I said, things got very, very heated. Hasan got shut down and had nothing to say. He still didn't even rebut anything that Vinny said there. Let me know in the comments what you think about what Jank said about Donald Trump and Joe Biden. What you think about Piers Morgan? I still don't understand why Piers Morgan and these Brits have such an interest in American politics. It's like a reality TV show, I guess, nowadays. Not even really like serious politics anymore. But let me know in the comments what you think about this whole episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored.